Good morning, welcome to 59 Minutes. My name is Levi Kones. This morning we are going to be talking about the intrigues of Mount Kenya politics. And to join me is the newly nominated UDA women rep from KIRINYAGA County, NJERI, MAINA. Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations.
Asante.
Yeah?
It was a tough battle.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah? When did you aspire or think about aspiring for this particular seat?
I've always been interested in politics since my campus days, and after university in 2017 I vied for the position of speaker in KIRINYAGA County and emerged third. And after that I figured I needed to concentrate on my studies so that I finalize and get my law degree, get admitted to the bar. And then from there I thought, well, I felt that I could do more for the people of KIRINYAGA County.
You were vying for speaker before you had finished?
Yes.
You're ambitious.
So I thought, well, I could do more, and from the capacity where I was sitting, I have worked with young people who maybe don't have school fees. I have sponsored students in several schools. I have done pro bono work for KIRINYAGA people. So I thought I could do more, and I figured it is easier for me to ask for an elective position so that I am in a capacity to make sure that I am part of the change that I need to see in my community.
So then you looked around and looked at the women rep seat. But if I may ask, you know, some people say the women rep seat is not as strong as the other MPs. So why was this one a good bet for you?
The women rep seat this year was a very good bet for me because the incumbent is asking for a higher seat, which is a gubernatorial seat. So in politics we say Levi is all about strategy. So I looked and strategically measured and weighed the seat that would actually help me be able to be in a capacity to invest in my county and help the people of KIRINYAGA County. And the women rep seat was very open because the contenders who were there were all new entrants in the race. So I figured it would give me a fighting edge. Yeah.
Now tell me about, because you said that your nomination, that you have a lot of plans for women and youth. Tell us a bit about that. What do you intend to do?
I think first of all I'd like to demystify the women representative seat, because I always feel troubled when I see people talk about it and write about the seat. It's provided for in the Constitution, Articles 27, 97 and 100. It's provided for specifically for the marginalized groups. And we all know that women have been labeled as marginalized because of the patriarchal societal systems that we have had, which have ensured that they are not able to be well represented in parliament, or rather in politics.
Yeah.
So the seat in itself was informed as a way to balance out the representation of women in politics, which we call affirmative action or the two-thirds gender rule. And even now, even with the women rep seat, we still don't have a balance in parliament and in the upper house. But that is not the limitation of a woman representative, even though that is part of their job, or rather the one that informed them to be, provided for in the first place. The seat is so vast because as a woman representative, I am going to be able to do anything that a member of parliament can do. So if it is legislation, healthcare, be it infrastructure, tax, maybe land laws, I am able to inform and shape the narratives on that and be able to affect youth in KIRINYAGA, women in KIRINYAGA County, and also men in KIRINYAGA County in general.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot more than just, your agenda is a lot more than just women and youth.
Yes, my agenda is a lot more because at the end of the day, we do not want anyone to feel left behind, and we want to cater for the marginalized, but also ensure that at the end of it all, it's balanced out, that this other part of the community is not feeling left out.
Yeah. So when you were campaigning, what were you speaking to when you were talking to, your constituents?
When I was campaigning, I was reaching out to my constituents as their daughter and as a young person. because at the end of the day, packaging of the message is very important. And I was selling my agenda to them and my track record, even though I am a young person, and I have been committed and I've done community work before. So that is what I was selling to the people, that, look, I am a young person, I have been involved in community work, I have the heart of Kirinyaga, and I want to actually get in there and work for all of you.
Yeah. How difficult or easy was that?
I think reaching out to people was not hard. What was hard was getting around to, you know, the technicalities and being able to travel to a certain locality, and maybe perhaps you're going to meet a chama. They want you to maybe invest in their project. So that was the hard bit of it, the financial bit of it. Talking to people has never been hard for me, because as a lawyer and as a social activist, I love engaging people. I love hearing what they have to say. And we also engaged them in a way where I needed to hear from them, like, what would you expect of me? What do you think of my candidature? What do you think about voting in a young person? Are you looking at the, you know, nitty-gritties of, oh, she's too young? Are you looking maybe at the nitty-gritties of, you know, some things that in politics people think are not important, but sometimes people, sorry to say, for want of a better word, we call them petty things that should not really count, but sometimes people seldom will look at them. So it was really easy for me to talk to people and to reach to them. I had such a good reception and I had such a good rapport with them. But the hard bit of it was finances.
I can imagine, yeah, finances. They say politics and finance.
It took a toll on my account.
Yeah?
Yes.
Do you think in terms of finances, we need to change maybe our mindset in how we approach our politics with regards to finances?
I believe that it is something that we need to work on because it is not only the electorate, because even us vying for positions, you find that we feel the urge to give the electorate something for them to vote us in or support us or support our agenda. So I think it's something that as a community we need to look at, and we need to think about how we can move a step further and away from that. Because at the end of the day, if we really want genuine and true leadership, then money should not be in the equation at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
They should be able to just elect someone based on the ideas that
Yes.
they're selling.
And the character, the ideologies, what they speak to, what they stand for. Yes.
Yeah. Well, in your county, Kirinyaga is a fairly agricultural county. Lots of people there are doing different agricultural stuff. Did you have any, anything on the agenda for farming and things like that?
Yes, I did have the agenda for farming, and I grew up I went to school and was educated by coffee. My dad was an avid coffee farmer, and my parents also do dairy farming. So farming was a very essential part of my campaign, and I was communicating to the community and telling them we will sit down and have consultations, and then I can push for legislation that caters for all diverse farmers in Kirinyaga County. Yeah. Because there's coffee farming, there's tea farming, the people who do tomatoes, the people who do the short-term cash crops. So I need to be able to cater for every farmer in Kirinyaga County. Yes.
Why UDA?
UDA is the party to be, first of all, and UDA speaks to my heart because it speaks and it promotes and champions the ideologies of the bottom-up economic model. And if you look at me, I'm a young person, Levy, and the UDA party and what it pushes for and the agenda that it represents is the face that you see before you. I am a hustler first. I started my first business in campus, and I think the only thing I haven't sold in Nairobi is eggs. And I am also someone who has come from a humble background. I didn't have, a lot of money to run around with, and I am also grounded. So I have worked my way up. And UDA is a party that chaperones an economic model that wants to cater for everyone. It wants to give the space to every person, from the mamambogas and to ladies at vibandas, the people who are farming, the people who are doing horticulture. Everyone is part of this big community. So UDA for me was a very easy decision to make.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were celebrating, from where we are from in Bomet. We had a young lady clinch the women rep. I'm sure you saw that. But then there's you from Kirinyaga. How do you think your youth is an advantage to your being a politician?
I think the people of Kirinyaga, as it stands now, and the demographics, the youth still form a major population, but you find that most likely it was people who are way above youth who actually participate in the nomination process. So for me, it's purely because the people of Kirinyaga, or rather the ground as we call it, feel that they need to see new faces in politics. They need to see faces that have not been corrupted by politics. They need to see new energy. They need to be led by the young people of this nation. They feel that they can actually entrust young people to leadership positions.
Yeah.
It is a shift in the ground. It is something that is very much welcome, and I want to laud the people of Kirinyaga County for nominating me and believing in my vision.
Yeah, yet there's been a worry, some young people have gotten these seats before and gone on to get lost, so you speak, in Bunge. How would you assure your constituents that that will not be the case with you?
I think if I were to speak in regards to my candidacy, I am a very vocal person. I've always been very vocal. So that is one thing that people of Kirinyaga County can be guaranteed on, that I will not go to shy away or run away from facing on things or settling things for the people of Kirinyaga County. I will definitely not get lost. I've always been vocal, and I believe in the capacity of young people to lead. I think perhaps it's unfortunate that some young people get elected and then they disappear. We don't see them anymore. But sometimes we say that the system is so it is so powerful that it is easy to be carried away, or rather be sucked in, or corrupted by it. But I am very grounded, and I will remain grounded.
And you remain grounded. Wow, yes. The women rep seat. How many wards did you have to campaign in?
I had 20 wards.
Wow.
Yes, and some of them are so vast, it's very hard to cover them in even a day.
Yeah.
You're driving around.
Tell us a little bit of how that is like, campaigning for real on the ground.
So campaigning on the ground is all about strategy, because you find that you're not able to be at every other place. So what I did is I picked on a team for every ward, and I had someone who's leading the ward and someone who's leading that particular constituency. So that team would represent me if I wasn't available. But you find that the ground actually needs to see you, and you need to avail yourself, because leadership is not about hiding away. And sometimes you will maybe perhaps you've bought some pieces of unga to give the constituents, and you find that they are more than the number. So it gets a bit chaotic. I had some threats. I get those threats, and people would say this and that. I think at the end of the day, if you really know what you want, and you really know that you want to do it for the people of Kirinyaga County, or rather your people, and you believe in it, it's easy to just pursue it.
Yeah. What was a typical day like for you? Starting at what time? Sleeping at what time?
A typical day would be starting at, let's say 8 a.m. and would be sleeping at 12 midnight.
Wow.
Yes, because then I am also an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I run my practice. I have my own law firm, so I had to balance between the two, because my firm would give me funds to be able to at least push in and balance out politics. Because in politics, you're not making any money, and if you're vying for nomination, you're going to nominations, then people don't actually really invest until you get the ticket. Yeah. So I had to run the farm, and I had to be on the ground running politics. So I'd be perhaps getting at 12 a.m. midnight, and I'm drafting some certificate because I need it filed in the morning, and then I dash out again. It was hectic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you always know you were going to win?
I didn't always know I was going to win, but I worked towards that. Everything that I did and planned, I worked towards winning. Yes, I didn't want to think about it in actuality, because then I would have to think about losing, and I didn't know how I would face all that. But I knew that I was working extra hard towards winning. So
that was the drive every day. What do you think would have been, you would say would be your low about campaigning?
I think my lowest moment was when my dad passed away, because it was just 2 weeks before nominations. So I momentarily thought, well, I can't do this, because it was a great support system to me. This was a dream that we both envisioned together, So when he passed away, I thought, you know, he wasn't sick, it was an accident, so it was very low for me, and I thought, I can't do this. Then I remembered that if he were there, he'd tell me to be strong, he'd want me to go through with it, he'd want me to push, because that is what he stood for. He stood for, if you start something, then you have to finish it, you have to see it to the very end. So that encouraged me and gave me the push to actually go through with it.
Yeah, pole sana.
Asante.
We'll take a break on that note. When we come back, let's talk about Mount Kenya politics.
We'll be right